Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to my channel, and I really appreciate you watching the video. I'm recording this topic again because last time I tried to record it, the voice was not there. I don't know what happened. I don't know what glitch it was, but it didn't happen. Alhamdulillah. Qadar Allah. Now, this topic can be very, very triggering for some, can be very difficult for some to understand. But once you understand it, it changes a lot of things. So, I want you to listen with an open heart and an open mind and really try to understand what is the meaning behind what you are doing and catch yourself doing it so that you can make the changes that are necessary in your marriage and thrive in your marriage, inshallah. I get this question a lot in my DMs. It comes up a lot with my coaching clients as well. This topic is mothering versus being a wife. What is the difference? What it is actually, why this happens. As we are mothers, the way we talk to our kids, telling them to do things, giving them instructions, most of the time you are carrying the same energy in your marriage. You are carrying the same energy. The way you talk to your kids, you do the same thing with your husband. That is mothering him. You are micromanaging everything that he does, like how you do it for the kids. Now, your intentions are pure. You are doing it from your love and affection that you have. But you need to understand that when you are doing it with the kids, that's totally different. And what you are saying to your husband, that's totally different. He is a man who can do things on his own. Yes, if he asks you for help, or if he tells you that please remind me, that's another thing. That you please do. That is not mothering him. I'm talking about the words you use, the micromanagement that you have for him, the reminders you send him without him asking, the words, the energy that you use in your marriage, and this is not healthy at all. Why this happens, I'm going to talk about it, but I want to tell you what are the ways you are micromanaging your husband. And these are real life examples which I have seen with my own eyes, or my clients have told me, and I have permission to share them with you. The first one is you've gone to a restaurant and you've ordered food for him. Let him order. Let him order because he knows what he wants to have. He's a man, he can do it. You order for the kids. The second thing is, if he's going out and you feel that he's going to catch a cold if he's not going to wear the cap, then take the cap and say, may this cap keep you warm, and give it to him. If he takes it, okay, alhamdulillah. If he doesn't, that means he's fine. He is okay. Maybe he'll wear it later. Speaking on his behalf, you have gone to a family gathering and someone asks a question or someone wants to talk to him, but you jump in to answer. That is wrong. That is mothering. That is taking control. You are going on a drive. The map says you need to take a turn on the next exit. You need to take that right turn. He misses that turn. And then you're like, oh, you missed the turn. Where were you? Why weren't you looking? It's a turn. I'm sure there will be another turn after some time. You do not need to tell him. You do not need to micromanage him. This is micromanaging him. One other thing also happens, which slightly comes under mothering, is you talking behind him. He always leaves his towel on the bed. He always leaves his laundry on the floor. No, these things don't need to be discussed. They need to be addressed. You need to have the right words. You need to have the right energy to talk to him about these things as a wife, not as a mother. There's a very thin line between mothering and being a wife. Intentions are the same, You love the person, you love your husband, you want to take care of him, you don't want him to do, get cold, you want to protect him. But the way you speak to your kids, like I said in the beginning, is very different to the way you speak to your husband. Because when you are mothering, you're controlling the outcome. You want things done your way. But being a wife, yes, your nature is that you want to help, you're loving, you're caring, but you also take a back seat. You also rest. You also lean back, is the right word I was looking at, because he knows how to take care of himself. When you mother him, you emasculate a man. His self esteem, his self confidence completely drops. He doesn't feel safe to be in the marriage because says that every time I say something or want to express something, I'm being controlled. A man needs to feel safe, he needs to feel seen, he needs to feel heard. The way is right for him in the marriage for you to have amazing emotional intimacy. Now, one important thing, he's a man. He can take care of his things on his own. If he asks for help, if he needs some help or some reminder, and if he tells you, yes, you do that. But why do you need to do the mothering and take control in your hands? Because, one, somewhere in your childhood or in your early years experience, you have had that mindset or that belief that you cannot trust a male figure or they are not to be trusted. The second is you have been raised in a way that says that woman needs to do everything, the man will not do it. So there is that belief system in you that is telling you to do control, take things control in your hand because you want to make sure that the outcome is according to you. There's a lot of things involved. That's why I do a lot of healing work inside my coaching sessions with a client when I see that she is stepping into the mothering energy. And just by making that shift in the marriage, a lot of things change. The husband opens up, the husband feels safe to be himself, to have conversations with her, just by making that shift and healing the root of it. Now, how to have a thriving marriage where you're not mothering him. One thing, you need to shift your perspective from control to trust. I want you to assess how you have been in the past scenarios, past situations. Bring them to your awareness, or maybe sit with them, reflect on it. Whether it was a conversation, whether it was a decision that he made, and how did you respond? Did you react or did you respond? Did you try to control the outcome? What was it that was happening? Again, you have to know in your heart that he is a man. Allah has given him the wisdom to make the decisions because men are decision makers, they are problem solvers. That is his main aim, that is his goal. He's a protector, he's a provider. Allah has given him wisdom to do that, and you have to trust him. So, you need to have that trust in the relationship for you to not mother him. The second one is embrace your feminine energy. It's all about receiving, trusting, nurturing, emotional intimacy. When you're too focused on the outcome, you cannot be present. You cannot be mindful. You cannot think from your heart because when you're focused on the outcome, you are thinking from the mind. You are in your head. You're not able to enjoy the moment that you are in. So create space by having conversations, emotional connection in your marriage where you are feeling seen and heard, and he is feeling seen and heard and validated. And Very important point. Appreciation. Appreciation to a man boosts his self esteem and his self confidence. So instead of micromanaging him, I want you to lean back, trust him. Because, see, mistakes can happen. And we are humans, we make mistakes. So mistakes can happen, and when we learn from our mistakes, that's the most important point. That if we are making a mistake, we learn from our mistakes and we correct them so that it doesn't happen next time. That requires trust. That requires you to lean back. So appreciate him, thank him for the small and the big things he does to support you, because this will boost his self esteem and self confidence. When you mother him, you are emasculating him. That is not good for his self esteem and self confidence, because he cannot be the protector, the provider that Allah has made him to be. The next one, emotional regulation. You must have noticed that I mention emotional regulation in mostly all of my videos, because this is such a big point that we do not even think about it. But once you know how to regulate your emotions, once you know how to understand your triggers, you are so relaxed. Even if things are happening, you know that, okay, Allah is with me. Everything is going to work out well. Allah is guiding me. Allah is protecting me. You have that level of tawakkul in you, because you are in the present moment. You're breathing. You're not reacting impulsively. So, yes, breathing is very important. But I want you to practice, if in your daily life, if you can practice breathing, 5 minutes of breathing in the morning and in the evening. Maybe you can keep an alarm as a reminder that, yes, I need to do breath work, so that you're breathing. Because one of the first things to regulate your emotions is breathe. Because when you breathe, you pause. You really pause. Even if your kids are being kids, you breathe. You just sit back, lean back, breathe. And then you will be able to respond rather than reacting impulsively, which is not good for any relationship, because it stops you from thinking. You are scared, that's why you're reacting. The last one is have an open conversation. This is so important, that you share your concerns with him. You share your vulnerabilities with him without any blame, without any criticism, without any comparison, without any ifs and buts. You just tell him, I felt hurt, or I'm feeling alone. I see a lot of misinformation out there when it comes to communication. A lot of young people are giving advice on communication, especially to a husband, and that is not correct. Because when you are communicating to a man, to your husband, you have to express how you are feeling first. If you start the conversation with, you didn't see me for the past 3 days, and now you're telling me this, that is not the healthy way of having a communication. So you need to learn the skills, which again, I coach women inside my coaching containers, because yes, communication is massive. There are a lot of things: body language, eye rolling, size, your hand gestures. So many things are involved, the words, the energy. But this is what I want you to take from this video is, you don't need to over explain when you're having a conversation with him, because the attention span is very small. Anyone, you take anyone, and nobody likes to be told that, okay, you did this wrong. Nobody likes to be told. And when you're over explaining, that is again your fears and your insecurities coming out. So stick to the goal, to the point of the conversation. Make sure the sentence is short. Make sure the words are right. Make sure the energy is right. Make sure that you're not repeating. And there's no blame, there's no criticism, there's no past. But 3 years back, same thing happened and you didn't listen to me. He will not remember because men are very good in compartmentalizing. Once it's compartmentalized, they don't remember what has happened. They forget. They forget very easily. So have an open conversation. Talk to him about your concerns. Talk to him that I would love for us to have our supplements daily. So is it okay if I keep it on the kitchen counter so you can remember yours and I remember mine because I want both of us to be healthy? There, this is a general scenario that I've painted for you. Your marriage needs maybe something specific. So if that is happening, yes, that is when you need to come into the coaching sessions because everyone's marriage is different. Everyone's scenarios are different. Yes, the general information is there. I want you to focus on what has happened in the past, whether you have had to step into a mother and control him or his action or his behavior. What has made you do that? Go back to different scenarios, different situations, write them down. Write what you said, write what you did, write down what his behavior was, how did he respond, how was his eye gestures, because this is what is going to help you to understand yourself, that what was the trigger, because there is definitely a trigger. That's what pushes you to be in that mothering energy. And it will help you to understand him, that when you do this, how he responds or reacts. Maybe he shuts down. Maybe he wants to be alone for some time. He needs his own space. This will help you to really understand him, your husband as well, because key thing in a marriage of creating emotional intimacy comes when there is safety, when there is trust, when there is open communication. Now, before leaving, I give you journaling prompts. So I want to give you two journaling prompts which are very important. Is I want you to sit with it, reflect on what comes up for you. The first one is, what fears drive me to need to control him? Because there is a fear behind it. There is something happening that is triggering you to control him. Sit with it, answer it. Maybe the answer will not come today, it will come tomorrow, but it will come. And you have to be real with yourself so that when you find the answer, you can correct it, inshallah. The next one is, how can I replace that fear with trust and open communication? Because you need to have that. You need to have open communication. You need to tell him, okay, when you say something like this, I get upset. So can you tell me something like this in another way? Again, you need to have trust. You need to have that bond which is so strong that you can have this communication with your husband. So start with what I have given you. Evaluate your marriage where it is. How are the ways you are mothering him? Are the examples I've given you? Maybe there are more examples that comes in your head. So write them down. Write them down in your journal and ask yourself, was I ever told not to trust a male figure, or that the woman is the only one who will do things in her house? Did you experience something like this? Getting really clear with yourself and answering these difficult questions will help you with deep awareness of why this is happening in your relationship. Jazakallah khair for being with me for this important video. I pray you take this with open heart and open mind and correct whatever is going wrong in your relationship. May Allah bless your marriage, may Allah bless you, and may Allah bless your family. Ameen. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.